ArtZone. ArtZone is a video document of the arts and artists in the Rockford area. This is Nancy Froelich speaking for the ArtZone, calling in from Deerfield Beach, Florida. This episode features an interview with artist Todd Elliot, a performance by the Rockford Dance Company, video art from Meat Space, and highlights of the annual high school art exhibition held at Rock Valley College, plus poetry from Cafe Esperanto.
Hi, I'm Doc Slavkowski, and this is the Art Zone. We're coming to you from J.R. Kortman Center for Design downtown in the heart of Rockford's Cultural District. In this Art Zone, we'll attend opening night at the Kortman Gallery for Myriad, My Aid, an exhibition of works by artist Todd Elliot, who makes a visual statement about his life growing up with a hearing impairment. In conjunction with this exhibit, Cafe Esperanto presented a poetry reading entitled The Language of Love, hosted by poet Alan Griffith, where the poetry was interpreted in American Sign Language. And then in video art, we'll show you some creative video submitted by Meat Space with Devin Henkel and Jim Asbury. Plus, we'll see a unique performance by the Rockford Dance Company, which was held in the showroom of a Harley Davidson motorcycle dealership. Finally, we'll take you to Rock Valley College, where Cherri Rittenhouse will introduce the annual Rock Valley College High School Art Exhibition, curated by Scott Snyder of the Rockford Art Museum. So sit back, relax, and enter the Art Zone. We're at the Kortman Gallery, and we're at opening night of Myriad, My Aid, which is the title of your show, and we're with the artist here. This is Todd J. Elliot.
That's right. How are you?
I'm fine. Todd, tell us, first of all, I want to know the significance of the title.
Well, Myriad, just meaning that there's just different levels. I mean, just seeing it in a broad base. The work is, people would maybe look at the work as inconsistent, but what I was trying to do is look at something in a very broad scale. And that is simply what I'm looking at. The two words combined are very similar in their spelling. And that's the reason why I chose that. So.
Okay. Now tell us, you can look at this. I mean, what we're seeing here is basically some of the images are portraits of hearing aids.
That's correct.
Tell us about that, because this is a very unusual thing to sort of take something that involves sound and put it into two-dimensional visual imagery.
Yeah, it's a very hard thing to do, and in fact, for the first time, even in the show, I even applied words to my artwork, which I've never done before. But as for the hearing aids themselves, all of them have been worn by me, and they are, in a sense, portraits. And I wanted to get that across, that they, in themselves, were a part of my life, and they were alive. So in a sense, it's maybe a post-mortem tribute to some of these hearing aids as well, which I've never thought of before.
The other thing, too, is, I mean, this is something that you've had to deal with since a young child. As a matter of fact, this is a self-portrait behind us here, and you have this huge device coming out of your ear. Now, explain a little bit about that.
Well, the whole principle behind that is that it's a very mechanical thing, and when you're first wearing a hearing aid, you feel it, and it's the first time, and this is the first year I had to wear one in the 4th grade. So I'm feeling the weight of the aid itself, and in a sense, being a child, I decided to kind of represent it in a very Seussian way, like a Dr. Seuss image. And I have the exaggerated harness and everything to it as well. And plus the portrait itself, the way they have you tilt your shoulder and everything, it seems so natural to just pop something like that on there to kind of support the weight and to demonstrate the heaviness of it.
Right, this is an Art Zone first. We're going to be talking to the mother of the artist, and this is Kathleen Elliott. What do you think about the show?
I love the show, and I am just taken aback by his self-portrait as a child with his Dr. Seuss hearing aid. The first time I saw it was at home, and I was just really taken aback because he has explained a lot of things to me about his hearing loss now with this show that he was not able to tell me before. So I'm really thrilled with the show.
You relate this to the rest of us who maybe don't have a specific handicap, but in a way we do.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, it can be explained in a very simple way. I think of fiction sometimes where somebody might be very wealthy but maybe not have love. Or somebody who may be very poor could be very rich in spirit. And so we are all missing an element somewhere in our life. And this happens to be one element in which I sometimes miss things. And so in a sense, I'm kind of regaining something from the handicap itself, and beginning to get my identity through it as well. The show can be serious, but it also, for the first time for me, has let out a great deal of sense of humor that I have personally within me. So I feel much better about myself doing this.
Do you think have you found people taking this being a little difficult with it because it's maybe could be considered an uncomfortable situation, or
I think the people who are hearing impaired will certainly recognize it right away and understand it. Those who don't have it will have to think a little bit about it. But I don't think they'll be offended in any way in that realm, and certainly because they'll find the relationship and connection, will find the humor in that in itself. And that is where I find a sense of humor in it. That there is a connection there, and that just relating to that experience, it's just like sitting around with a bunch of friends, and you mention something that you might have in common with each other, and you'll find it kind of whimsical, and that's what this is.
and you have something here to help people sort of understand what it's like to be hearing impaired, right?
Yes,
That you're-
little, I mean, we use these in environments where we're dealing with like woodworking material. I mean, I do a lot of woodworking stuff at home too, but air protectors, and I think just kind of clouding up the air a little bit. I'm 50-50 in each ear. I think this will kind of diminish if somebody's hearing a little bit as well, maybe 10%, maybe 20%, but they'll get an understanding that, that it's harder to hear somebody. It's a lot different than that, though. Hearing aids themselves have a way of picking up on environmental noises. So sometimes I'll have more problems hearing that person I'm trying to listen to because there might be a vent in the room that's making a noise. Hearing aids have a very hard time discerning that. And it's very hard for that person who's hearing impaired to say, okay, it finally sounds right. They never knew what it sounded, how it was supposed to sound anyway. So it's very relative at that, and that I find even kind of funny as well. So
have you found anybody putting these on
yes,
yet?
I have. I've seen 2 people tonight. So, and people are taking them with them too. So yes, and I hope more people do take them. If not, just to find out what it's like to be impaired, to protect your ears, because that's very important. So
Thanks a lot, Todd.
thank you.
Hi, welcome to Meat Space. It's March, it's springtime, and young people's fancy turns towards fancy stuff.
Everybody's feeling really good. Hi, my name's Jim,
And I'm Devin.
and tonight we're going to be showing you a video of mine, actually, in response to everybody's, great mood. So I guess we can just show it.
Okay, there it goes.
What, just go ahead, start? Okay. Well, I went down to visit my folks this last weekend and, go down, hang around and eat with them and then just take off. And as I was leaving, my mom gave me this box of baby pictures. And there were some report cards and certificates of merit from grade school and stuff like that. And I said thanks and got in my car and started going home. And I kept finding myself looking down at that box, and I kind of did a quick self-evaluation, and I asked myself, well, how do you feel about this stuff? And the only thing I come up with is I don't have any feeling about it, and so I just kind of put it out of my mind. And a little later on, I noticed that I was really cold, and my window was open, and all of a sudden I realized then that I've been throwing that stuff out the window for quite a while, like one piece at a time, just on the highway, just without even thinking about it. But I haven't always been like this. I mean, I was a happy kid, a happy teenager. I mean, I think I was. And, until a few years ago, I mean, suddenly I realized that something had burned out or broken in me. I mean, it was gone. There's nothing I could do to get it back. Nothing makes an impact on me anymore. I mean, things I read or see or people I meet. I mean, I'm just unfazed. I'll notice something temporarily, and then I forget it. I mean, I almost feel like, I feel like a mirror. And I just reflect things going on around me, but there's no retention. There's never any retention. And then it just fades. I mean, I've had so much wasted time and opportunity. I mean, the chances I've had to be happy, I always end up wrecking, and I eventually drive people away from me, and you know, I make them realize that they're wasting their time with me, and it reminds me of that sixth wife joke about my sixth wife. Now there was a loser, except that I'm the wives. I mean, I'm the wives. It isn't the guy. It's me. I mean, it seems sometimes. Okay, if my life were a 24-hour day, the amount of time that I would spend noticing somebody or something, I mean, really noticing it and thinking about it, would it probably end up taking up about 5 minutes out of the whole 24 hours. And that would be accidental. I mean, I wish it were otherwise, but I can't change the way things are. And I've thought about not being here anymore dozens of times, but I feel, I don't know, I'm the Rasputin of suicide, I think. You know, I'd rather not. I don't want to do it anymore. Okay? All right.
Well, hi. Welcome back. Glad I finally got it on. You know, it's taken a while, but what'd you think about it, Dev?
That was a real toe tapper.
Yeah, it's a real up piece, but it's totally fictional. It's not based on anyone I know, and certainly not me. But some of the composition was nice, and I don't know.
It
Okay,
was a real toe tapper.
Yeah, Dev's real excited about it. Anyway, think about the composition, the relation of the images to the voiceover, and I think on that level it works. And sure, it's it's not very up, but we can take
I like
a little
it.
down.
It's a very good piece.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Anyway, be sure and join us next time on Meet Space, brought to you by the people at ArtZone and Northern Illinois University. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot. See you later.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Valerie Olafson, photographer, preservationist, and all-around good gal, and you're watching the Art Zone.
This is the first time I know of in Rockford, or from my personal knowledge, the only time that I've been at a poetry event that was being interpreted for the deaf. I'm excited about this. I love poetry, and from growing up living near Tennessee School for the Deaf, I've always had a fondness, I guess I could say, for sign language. I find it visually beautiful, and I think in its own way it's poetry in and of itself. Poem for an everyday lover. With one sleepy eye, I watched your back ascend on a shadowed slant into the morning. Rough as raw silk, your braid hung like an ancient necklace, tarnished by timeless sleep. I tracked you into your dreams. You welcomed me, one eye smiling, and both your hands busy with something important. Though you did not lose me, I lost myself, and was surprised to find safety again beyond the alarm over the side of our marooned vessel. You flung yourself. With awkward strokes, swam out to sea. I drifted, one eye closed, looking everywhere for your dream hands.
What does a Harley-Davidson motorcycle and fine art have in common? Well, we're at Kegel's, the world's oldest Harley-Davidson dealership, where the Rockford Dance Company held a fundraiser and performance entitled When Two Classics Converge, a Biker's Ball. Now we're going to show you some scenes from that Rockford Dance Company performance.
Behold the blue horizon line, we see Orion rising. The stars are all. The stars are ours tonight. They sparkle and shine so bright because you're mine tonight. The stars are stars. The moon that's up in the sky is shining for you and I, because you're mine tonight. The stars are come a long way from it all. Gotta love it, I know. Into Canada, the light shines around the sun. Whichever we go. Stars are ours tonight. They sparkle and shine so bright because you're mine tonight. Stars, the moon is up in the sky, shining for you and I, because you're mine tonight. The stars are. Relax, the galaxies dance and spins to the music of the sea. Charlie horse, it's for the saints. The stars are off tonight, tonight's are here. The stars are ours tonight. They sparkle and shine so bright because you're mine tonight. The stars are ours because you're mine tonight. The stars are ours because you're mine tonight. The stars are horizon line, we see Orion rising. The stars are all.
Hi, my name is David Boyer, and this is the Art Zone.
This next poem I actually wrote while I was in college, and it very much speaks of a love for a place, in particular a mountain in Tennessee. It's called Earthbound. To keep a covenant with scenic views is to forget that the ground exerts its pull. For instance, this slab juts out, exposed and grooved by the same water that renews the mountain laurel, its branches full of blossoms. This limestone, like a cleft chin, is set in its way of balancing until the mountain shifts its face again. I stretch my length rock wide to see Lost Cove, where the cave is, the air suddenly wet and cooler, where blind things sense their way about. Over-reliance on sight will keep us from stooping to touch the ledge and feel its view and let the pull of all directions tug at us enough so that we know the reasons why we move.
This is called Black Baby. Black sweater, black shirt, shoes and socks, black watch band, black boots and brows, black bra, black lashes, black panties, and black hair cut razor short. Black baby, bad baby, so bad, so good being bad with you, baby. This next poem is sort of addresses the darker side of love, or actually, I suppose what it addresses, now that I think about it, is obsession, which is certainly not a good thing. And it's kind of based on, it's a very short poem, but it's based on the old journalistic formula where every story has to answer the questions who, what, when, where, and why, and sometimes how. Sorry if I'm going too fast. Anyway, this poem is just called Jealousy, or 5 W's and an H. Wondering who, where, when, and why she, how she does what she might or not do.
Hi, I'm Estelle Black from the Rockford Public Library, and you're tuned to the Art Zone.
The Art Zone now takes you out to Rock Valley College for a look at their high school art exhibition.
Hello, I'm Cherri Rittenhouse from Rock Valley College Art Department. The work behind me is just some of the work from our high school art show. This is our 7th annual high school jury competition. And when we started this show about 7 years ago, which was actually the first year I came to Rock Valley, I wasn't really sure if there was going to be a big response to another high school show. I contacted a lot of the teachers. They were excited about it. And it certainly has proved to be one of our most exciting shows of the year. This year we had 481 entries and 171 pieces were accepted for the show. So you can see that there's quite a varied amount of work in the show, and we're really pleased to see such quality work coming out of the high schools. This year's show was juried by Scott Snyder of the Rockford Art Museum. He's curator of exhibitions there, and we're really pleased to have him jury the show. And I'd like to introduce Scott now.
When Cherri Rittenhouse called me, I didn't know she was thinking of me to be the juror, but I was pleased that she called me to do this. Jurying shows is very exciting. It can be a daunting task when you have so many, such as their 500 works in this Rock Valley show. But you know, it's a challenge to go through the work and narrow it down. That's a very tough task. You you'd hate to narrow work out, but what happens is there's a limited amount of space in any type of juried show, whether it be a high school student show or a professional art show. There's a limited amount of space of which you can fit artwork, so you cannot possibly include everything that is entered. That's just the nature of it. So you make your basic decisions based on design, concepts, principles of design, and work from there. One of the hardest parts about jurying a show is picking out the final winners. Of course, we've had to narrow down from 500 works down to about 200 works, which is a daunting task in itself. But then to choose the best, and I can't emphasize this enough, is this is my opinion. Artwork is very subjective. A different juror would have picked different artworks as a winner, I'm sure. The pieces that I picked as first, second, third, or the honorable mentions or the jurors' mentions are the work that struck some chord in me, whether it be some personal narrative that I saw in the work that I could relate to, or the technical mastery of the student working in the medium, or maybe there's something humorous. I have personal tastes where I like a humorous narrative to some of the work. They're personal tastes that enter in. You can't always be hard edge, cut and dry, and a computer in what you choose.
Yo, this is Midi Mart. Still going.
It's interesting, if you look back at the history of these student art shows, you would see people that were included in past art shows have actually come back to Rockford, have gone to art school, or have trained themselves to be artists, or have gone on to be art educators in town, or curators in town, or working at Rock Valley. It's interesting. People end up back here. You can trace, starting as far back as high school with some of these prominent artists in town, where their careers have started. And that's great. It's exciting to see this young blood come up. And I look at the work, it has so much maturity in it. The whole show has quite a bit of maturity in it. And I don't know if that's just, I'm getting older, but I look back at what we were doing when I was in high school, and there wasn't as much mastery of skill. And I think the quality of education has gone up in the arts. It was certainly good when I was there, but there's more knowledge. We have that much more history behind us now, the 10, 15 years ago that I was in school. And it's just very wonderful to see that arts aren't dying, they're thriving at the high school level, at the grade school level, and there are these educators that are bringing these kids up right, and they're students that are really taking it seriously. And I'd like to thank Rock Valley College for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this show.
Well, thanks for watching the Art Zone. We hope you enjoyed the show. We're standing here in the Sculpture Gardens at the Rockford Art Museum. Stay tuned for the credits. We're going to show you video highlights of opening night of the Cyber Archives and Rural Inspirations. If you have any questions or comments about the Art Zone, we'd love to hear from you. Stop in and see us at J.R. Kortman Center for Design or give us a call at 968-0123. And now opening night at the Rockford Art Museum.
This is Nancy Froelich speaking for the Art Zone. Past episodes of the Art Zone are available for checkout at the downtown Rockford Public Library.
This is the Art Zone.
Art Zone is funded by J.R. Kortman Center for Design and Cafe Esperanto, downtown Rockford.
This is the Art Zone. This is the Art Zone. This is the Art Zone.